As Triple H would say, it's time to play the game. Welcome back to episode 3 of season 1 of Power Book Ghost 2. That's a very wordy title show, isn't it, man? But we're here, we're kicking off with some selling of the L drugs, the product. We see Drew and Kane. I'm beginning to get used to these characters' names. A wee montage of how they get their drugs sold, right? Then we're quickly in to the second part of this episode. And for me, this is ridiculous. So we have Tasha wanting to testify. Of course, she is on, for the murder charge of Ghost, her husband. And essentially what the attorney has set up here is like a mock court session where he's paid off the judge, he's paid off the jury, and also the defense attorney, right? Where this is all under oath, where none of these people can comment on this. And essentially what this is, she keeps to get these attempts in order to get her story correct. And for me, that doesn't even make any sense. Is it actually a legal thing where someone can do these mock attempts in court in order to get the story right? Obviously, our attorney here, or her attorney, is trying to do this to make sure that she gets her story together so it doesn't all come crashing down on the big day. Whatever episode that is, I'm not too sure. But to me, this just seems ridiculous. It wasn't just one day of court, it was 2 days of it. And it's like, what? Is this actually a thing? Now, considering how much emphasis and how much this show has actually shown in court, and there's so much detail go into like these district attorneys and court cases, I'm willing to bet they haven't just plucked this out their arse, but this to me just seems dodgy. I get it, right? Whether you're not guilty or guilty, these court cases, you have to stick to your story. You have to get it right to win over the jury. But to actually have these mock attempts at winning over the jury, whether or not they've signed an agreement never to speak of it, just seems ridiculous. And it just seems crazy that this actually exists. Like, is this judge... I don't even think they explained it well. Is this the same judge that's going to be on the actual hearing? Or is this just some other guy's paid off? Because even if it's some other guy's paid off, man, it's a bit ridiculous that this is even going down. But that pretty much wraps up the Tasha scenes until the end of this episode. I mean, it's just her going over her story again and again. Then obviously she's getting grilled numerous times. And the attorney's like, she might crumble at this. But you know what? We're going to go after Sachs. They view Sachs as the weak point, and obviously him being the defence in this case. Will he come crashing down alongside them? You never know. He might. But then we go to Tariq, and we get a lot of emphasis on his college work this episode, and I just, you know what, college is for fucking losers. You heard it here first. Like, he actually brings up some good points in his assignment here. Like, it's about, what's that guy's name? Socrates, right? Him. Greek mythology, all that crazy stuff, right? What he brings up is not what the tutor wants them to think about. He wants them to write about something else. So essentially what college, school, it's all the same shite. They want you to write what the teacher thinks in order to get the mark, but what Tariq has went for is what he truly thinks, and because of that, it looked like he was going to fail. But then, on the day of the test, it turns out he changed it to what the teacher wanted to do, but then the main teacher ain't the guy that's actually marking the test, it's the other teacher by the name of Theo Rollins, and this guy decides to give Tariq an NC, which is non-applicable, essentially. He gets no marks, he gets no credit, that's what it is, no credit. And then Tariq's like, well, why the hell didn't you give me any marks? He's like, you actually like me for doing this shit? And he's like, nah, what you said in the classroom is what I wanted you to write about. Our people didn't have to, sit at the back of the bus for this. And it's like, hold on here, right? This show's based in the 2020s, I get it. Our people. He's really whipping out the race card here of what Tariq did. It just seemed a bit woke. It just seemed a bit... And Tariq actually called him out on it. Fair play to Tariq. He's like, what, you think I'm just going to sit and take that shit in class? I don't like this new character, Theo Rollins. He's played by Redman. He sounds like he's a rapper. Not a fan of him, right? Not a fan of him in the slightest. Not doing it for me. Personally, I think the guy sucks. And also, like, his other... I don't even know what she's called it. She's played by Melina Labird, so let's just call her Melina for the sake of this review. Like the other teacher at the school, like these two are doing nothing. I get it, right? We're into a brand new show here, and we have to establish new characters in a sense in the spin-off. And here, Ghost as well. It's got Tariq having to go through 4 years of college in order to do it. But these characters are seriously bringing down the rest of the show. I think. Like, you've got the court case, the new family that's been introduced, to be honest, they don't actually bother me. I actually don't mind them. And what we've seen of them this episode was definitely the best part of the episode for me. We've got Prashandra, and essentially what it is, one of the sellers on the street is bragging. They're showing off on Instagram Live, or was it TikTok? It doesn't really matter. It's some form of social media. Hell, it could have been the big X, Triple H, with his wee title in here. Maybe he's bringing a wee bit of DX to this episode, but Drew gets sent. He's the youngest son. She didn't want to send Drew. She wanted to send Kane. Obviously, Kane's a wee bit more explosive. We'll get them to listen. But the daddy who's in jail, he sent Drew. He wants Drew to learn because he thinks Drew can lead the organisation one day. Drew's got the smarts, but he doesn't have the brawn, so to speak. And when he goes, he kind of lets the guy walk over on top of him. He's like, "Oh, you're doing a good job. My mother's put the word out." And then he's like, "But you need to reel back on these social media things you're doing, the live streams." And then once he says that, the guy kind of loses it. He goes ballistic. He's like, "You don't fucking tell me what we do, all right?" Did Lorenzo, the top man, expect this to happen, or did he expect something else to happen? I'm not too sure, to be perfectly honest, right? But at the end of the day, Kane was told by their mother to keep an eye on it. He comes in, he starts firing his gun, they then leave, and Drew can't believe that his mother kind of betrayed him by sending Kane there as backup when he was supposed to handle this beef. They then almost get arrested. They run down an alleyway, but then the dirty cop, I can't actually remember his name, but he then calls his partner back, and then, yeah, Kane is spared having to kill a cop, because how shit would that have been? That would have been an absolute disaster. Meanwhile, Seek, who Tariq is also tutoring at school, things aren't. His basketball career's kind of out the windy at this point because he doesn't have enough credit, and the whole reason Tariq is his tutor is to get this done, to get him over the line and get him back into the basketball team. But that doesn't exactly happen because the next game he misses because he doesn't have enough credit. But then at the press conference, he's like, "Yeah, you know what though? I'll be back for the next game. See that white boy? I'm going to be the one hitting 3-pointers." But then his head coach is like, "What the? Why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? He's not going to be back for the next game. He's talking shit. He's not happy." That pretty much wraps Seek up until the end, where Tariq kind of forced him into meeting with his auntie. What's her name? Yeah, Prashandra again. And it looks like Tariq is now going to be moving some weight for Prashandra, which we've seen Tariq do. He's moved a decent amount of weight. How much is he going to sell? How much money is he going to make? Because, of course, he's got to make money to pay the lawyer and the attorney and all that good stuff for Tasha's case. And then at the end of the episode, we see Prashandra phone her husband in jail, Lorenzo. Then, obviously, he's the one that got all the stuff to Tasha last episode. He phones her and he's like, "Yeah, Tariq's working for us now, but if he fucks up, we'll kill him. So you've got to stick together as well, so to speak." And we also have the teacher guy that I don't really like. What's his name? Where is his name? Theo Rollins. He sleeps with one of his students, and his ex-partner, the other teacher who we've talked about, Milena, whatever. She hears it. Whip-de-doo. Do not care. The college, the school stuff, it ain't doing it for me. I get it. Tariq's got to go to school, right? But I'm kind of glad he's made this arrangement with this Prashandra character. But what I'm looking forward to the most is this Tasha court case. Is she going to go to jail for this murder of Ghost? She's kind of landed Tommy in it by saying, "Well, I'm the one that told him to kill Ghost." Now, is Tommy going to be in this show? One can only assume he's going to be in this show because he's got to have to sort of clear his name before the other spin-off begins. Now, obviously, I've been told the order of the spin-offs is you watch this season 1, then you watch Power Book 4 season 1 after it. So I'm going to assume Tommy must be in the back end of this season. He must get his name clear, and then that's when he goes to Chicago to create his own spin-off and hang out with Tommy Flanagan. Oh yeah, carry weight. But for me, this episode, I'm going to get a 5. I thought, the gangster shit was good, so to speak, but the school stuff was really fucking dragging, man. The cringe stuff about fucking race. It's like, really, it's 2020, 2024, whatever. Whenever this season 1 was set, I believe it was 2020, just before the pandemic hit. Like, that guy whipping out that card to Tariq, and then he just, like, Tariq, who's also black, by the way, kind of just shuts him down. I was like, Tariq's kind of growing on me here. I know he's killed some of the better characters in this show, but that was a decent way comeback from. But anyway, I'm going to give us 5 out of 10. Time to play the game. Kind of stuttered and, botched this episode in terms of playing the game. It's like when your disc, got wee marks on it and it kind of buffers a wee bit. But we got there in the end. I thought the ending was alright. Set the next episode up to be hopefully good. But until then, peace.